Hi teachers, it's Dawn Anderson here, and I am here again to introduce you to the science shell. And just as a little bit of a warning, I am recording this on August 3rd, 2020, and by the time you are actually watching this video, things may have changed drastically because it seems like the only constant these days is not anything being constant ever. So just a word of warning, this is what we have right now. This is sort of the plan, but like I said, things could change. So quarter four, I was one of the people that helped make the curriculum. We tried to learn from our mistakes with quarter four. And then this summer, I was part of the group that helped make some of the curriculum. The purpose of this movie is a little bit of an introduction so you guys know what you are getting in here. Some of this is similar to what you had last time, and some of it's very different. So getting started, some of this is for you. The do not publish things, please don't publish them. They're for you. These ones, these are for kids and parents. Again, you guys have options. You can publish or unpublish as you see fit. Welcome to class. Class overview, class resources, class question board. These things have been filled in for you. They're kind of generic. You can definitely go in and modify them. About your teacher, this is just a blank page and you definitely want to modify this. So I will, at the end of this movie, make a list of things that you have to modify before you can publish your class. So about your teacher, it's just a blank template. You can add it, change it any way you like. Okay, so our direction this summer was to create 2 weeks of full curriculum. So things that are just turnkey, you can open them and you can start working on them. That's this. So there's an overview list, and then there's sort of 2 sections. So there are do these without your teacher, so that would be asynchronous. Do these with your teacher, that would be synchronous. And when we were dealing with kids and parents, we didn't want to use the term synchronous and asynchronous because we didn't want them to be confused. So with students and parents, we're saying without your teacher and with your teacher, and then do this after you're done with everything else. So it's kind of set up the same for week 1 and week 2. You have an overview, you have an assessment, and then you have a variety of things in the middle. One lesson that we learned from last time, quarter 4, was that doing exactly the same thing every single unit or every single section was boring for teachers, and it was boring for students, and it caused super low engagement. So this time we did things differently. We still sort of have the main skeleton, right? The overview and the assessment, the with your teacher and the without your teacher, but these things can be changed in and out. So with your teacher, we just have a regular presentation. It's a Google presentation on lab safety. This is just the lab safety sheet that they have to sign digitally. And then without your teacher, these are all different asynchronous ideas. Again, you can publish, you can unpublish. Week 1 and week 2 are meant to be totally turnkey. Easy for you. Week 2 looks similar. So there's an overview, there's an assessment down here. And then again, there are different things. So there's a sketch note, there's a presentation. Newsela this year is paid for through the district, so everyone has access to Newsela. BrainPop, there are several things in BrainPop like mind maps, and those are paid for by the district. So there's a few more things that we can use. There's a group discussion here. There is a gizmo here, which is not supported by the district. So one of us will go in and change this and make this an assignment that is supported by the district. Some schools do have access to gizmos and some schools don't. So we want to make sure that this is accessible to everybody. So again, first 2 weeks, these are all laid out for you. Weeks 3 through 8. There is an overview. There is an assessment, and there are ideas. On some of them, there are a few things sprinkled in here that you can use. But for weeks 3 through 8, you are in charge of pulling things, creating lesson plans, and actually sticking them in these modules. So again, overview, quiz, a Newsela article, and ideas. Week 5, similar, an overview, a quiz, and a couple of other things here. Let me show you what this ideas for week 5 looks like. Each one of these is a Google Doc. And the Google Doc is a place where we have the learning outcomes, we have the vocabulary, and we have a ton of resources and ideas, and we have them sorted by synchronous and asynchronous. So tons of ideas for you guys. But again, our job was only to flesh out the first 2 weeks and then to sort of make a skeleton of weeks 3 through 8. So there's lots of ideas in each of these, but the lessons are not made for you this time. Only the first 2 weeks. To help you through that, what we did is we made all of these different templates. So if you look up here, this teacher templates. So in quarter 4, we had a few templates for you. This time we have a lot more templates for you. And the idea here is that all of the ASD approved languages in here, all of the things that you would write over and over and over again are in here. And all you have to do is click duplicate and then just drag this down to the module that you want. So that's the idea up here. Again, each of these things is something that you might or you might not use. And if you have templates or things that you're finding that you're writing over and over and over again, you can write them up here, and then each time you can just duplicate them. So again, there's a bunch of general templates for you guys: lab reports, science notes, presentations. And there are several that are asynchronous. So discussion, it already has the information in there about make sure that it's polite, make sure that you're being a good digital citizen. The BrainPop mind map already has all those directions in there. And then each time you would just have to come up with which link they need to use for the BrainPop map. The BrainPop quiz is similar. Sketch notes, there's examples, there's directions. Newsela, there's examples, directions, all of these things. So all of this, these are all templates, and you can just duplicate them and drag them where you need them to go. The only exception to that are the little rocket ships. So if you see a rocket ship, that's a quiz. Quizzes, classic quizzes like these, do not duplicate. So what you have to do is go to them and just copy paste all of this. So Control C, you go to your new quiz that you just created, Control V as in Victor. One interesting thing that I wanted to show you about the Newsela article is this is tied to a test bank. So when you go here, there is a bank of Newsela questions, general questions that will work for any Newsela article. And you can just sort of pick and choose which ones you like. And then the students will do those questions according to their article. So lots of good things in here that will help you be an effective online educator this year, hopefully. But just know the first 2 weeks are done for you. 3 through 8 are not done for you. And if you look further, we actually did semester 2 as well. So S2 week 1. But know that there's even less down here. So this is just the overview and this is just the assessment. There's no ideas page. A couple other things I want to show you guys. Outcomes, your outcomes are already in here. One of our first jobs was to sort of pare down our curriculum because we're trying to fit a semester's worth of stuff into a quarter. So we had to make some hard decisions about what was going to go into and what were the most important things we were going to try and teach. So when you look on these, all of your outcomes are written out. So we went through and figured out exactly what we thought the bare bones was for each of these. And then we listed them all out. So they're all in here. And when you look back at these modules, even if you look all the way back here at semester 2, when you look at your overview and to-do page, it has your learning objectives already. It has your vocabulary already. And then on the overview, we gave you 2 different lists. So either a linear type of one, which might work better for just strict online learning. And then we also gave you a grid type of format, which might be better if we ever go back to face-to-face teaching where we have the cohorts. So there's 2 different ways to write out your to-do list for students. Quizzes. You also have quiz banks, test banks in here, and they go with each learning outcome. So if you go to quizzes, and you go up here to manage question banks, you will see that each of these is broken out by learning outcomes, and each of them is a bank of questions. So each of those assessments, they are using these question banks. This is done for you for the whole school year. All right, so again, there's all these templates. You're going to duplicate these and then drag and drop them where you need them to go. Your first 2 weeks, S1 week 1 and S1 week 2, these are done for you. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you have questions, definitely reach out to one of the people on the team. At the end here, I will write out a list of who was responsible for creating the curriculum and their email addresses so that you can email them if you have questions. All right, happy first semester and good luck.